So you want to change your relationship with food. That's what we're going to dig into today. I'm going to give you guys actionable tasks on looking at not only how to change your relationship with food, but the impact it's going to have on your mindset and ultimately your choices. So let's dig right on into it. First and foremost, this is not going to be an overnight change. Now, there are things and actionable steps you can take right now to have an impact. However, that does not mean that you are going to see an immediate and permanent change right away. That's the first thing I want to start with you guys on that, to just keep it in perspective. Before I dig any further, for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, if you don't mind, please smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notifications bell. And for those that are listening to the podcast, please make sure you're subscribing and following. It helps us out tremendously. And also check all the resources below in the description. We have our nutrition course that's going down live right now. We also have our free webinar replay that goes over some of these sustainable nutrition habits that I'm going to dig into and some of the perspective here, as well as coaching and a bunch of free resources that you guys can take advantage of, from our 7-day preview to the nutrition course to our 7-day fitness and nutrition vault access. But with that being said, let's dig on into it. So I mentioned being able to take action steps right now. The first thing that I want you to do is write down all the foods that you enjoy. First and foremost, don't judge. Don't hold any kind of, oh, this is a good food, this is a bad food. Write down all the foods that you enjoy first and foremost. Because what we're gonna look to do, especially to keep this sustainable, is try to keep these chunks of food into your planning and approaches as much as possible. I'll give you guys a real life example. So I know first and foremost that I like chocolate peanut butter cups, right? That's one of my favorites. Any of you that watch the podcast, watch our videos, you know that's my jam. I like having them with dehydrated mangoes. So what I do is, instead of going to a Reese's peanut butter cup, for example, which is delicious, don't get me wrong, it's gonna be more processed, it's gonna be higher in calories, I make a homemade version that's higher in fiber, higher in protein, lower in caloric density. So I get to still enjoy that food because I wrote it down in my list of foods that I want to enjoy. One of the other items I have in there is my dehydrated mangoes. Instead of having the added sugar version from the store, which is delicious, I make my own dehydrated mangoes, which are still delicious, and there's no added sugar, added calories. I have complete control over it. So that's step number one. Look at the foods that you know you're gonna enjoy, because those are the things that we're gonna wanna work in as much as possible. Step number two, now look at exactly what I just mentioned, how you can start to modify and swap out some of the ingredients or the portions where you can still enjoy it, but it's gonna be lower on the caloric density side, so less calories per serving and less calories per volume, higher on the fiber, higher on the protein. It's gonna make you feel more satisfied and full with less calories, less portions. That's a key one. Now, let's look at step number three. Not only we're writing this down, now we're swapping things. This is the most challenging part, in my opinion, is being kind to yourself, being patient with what we're doing. This is not gonna happen overnight, as far as like all of a sudden now, you're gonna drop all this weight. And even if it does, that's not usually gonna be sustainable. When you have drastic fluctuations in your weight, they're going to usually start to continue to fluctuate and your weight might come back up. And that's okay too. Guess what? You're gonna fail at some point. I'm just telling you right now, you're going to fail. If no one's told you this yet, you're going to hit plateaus. You're going to hit a point where you might not make your goal. That's okay. It happens to the best of us. It happens to myself. I have professional athletes I work with. I have high-level fitness enthusiasts, corporate professionals. Guess what? They fail. They fail on a regular basis. And if instead of judging yourself and having thought distortions and kind of animosity towards that failure, we embrace it. Again, very much credit to Jocko Willings. He has a great video and great motivational videos out there that talk about, oh, this happened, good. We want that because now we have to use that as an opportunity to work and grow and challenge ourselves. So I'm gonna recap this for you guys. Again, this one I want to get right to the point, get right into it. I'm not gonna rant and rave like I normally do, especially since I don't have my co-host here, Chuck. He's holding it down on the back end side of things with end of quarter. So we're gonna get right into the meat, get right to the good stuff. You guys can go check it out, take action on it, and we'll keep it rolling right along. Step number one, write down all the foods that you enjoy. That's gonna help you, again, enjoy and keep that healthy relationship with food, because then you don't feel like you're missing out. That FOMO isn't gonna come up as much, and you're gonna have that enjoyment and the sustainability that comes with it. Step number 2, we're gonna modify some of the ingredients that are in those food choices to either try and make it as home as much as possible, or just swap out some of the choices that come with that food. Step number 3, being patient, kind, and anticipate failure throughout that process. Those are those 3 actionable steps with creating a healthier relationship with food. And ultimately, if you have a healthier relationship with food, I'm willing to bet that your overall lifestyle, that lifestyle of fitness that we're here and talking about, hence the LOF, is going to improve from a mental perspective, from a physical perspective, and then ultimately over time in the body composition perspective. Not just in 1 week, not just in 1 month. Over the years, you're going to see your body composition change because you have that healthier relationship with food. So again, guys, be kind to yourself, work through those actionable steps. If you enjoyed this, please, again, like it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you listen on the podcast, follow, leave a comment, leave a review. And if you guys have more questions, leave them in the comment section below if we have it on this platform. Or again, check the descriptions. We have our nutrition course running right now. We have a variety of options around that. You have free access even, and you guys can opt in for that at the links below. And I'm gonna give you guys show notes so you can just put in your email. We'll send you show notes, recaps, and actionable steps on this. Plus, give you guys some heads up on some exclusive stuff we have coming out in the future. So that is all I got for you guys right now. I'm gonna take a little sip. And cheers, everybody.